Here we are on the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com and the first Star Goddess podcast.
Yes, Happy New Year and
Happy
welcome,
New
Shannon.
Year.
How you doing?
So glad to be here.
So glad to have you back.
So much fun.
It's been too long. Too long.
I know. I actually missed it. It was like Monday morning. I had nowhere to go.
You right?
I was
Pretty blessed
woke
when
up
you're
early
missing
anyway.
Work,
It's
back
like,
into work, right?
yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Well, we had a great 2019, and everybody. Now that you've been on the show all of last year, people are going to kind of say, "Hey, so what's in it for me?
What's in store? Yeah. What about me?
2020.
Yeah. Well, we start out 2020 this Friday with an eclipse on the Cancer Capricorn axis, and the eclipse cycle to me is so important because wherever it is, last 2 years, and it doesn't repeat itself for 19 years. And so wherever the eclipse cycle is, there's two. There's a lunar eclipse, which is the full moon, and the solar eclipse, which is the new moon. And the new moon is where you start stuff and you start stuff on a conscious level, but the full moon represents where your emotional needs are being met. And what the eclipse calls for you to do, whatever house or affair of life it's in, says you want to think about what you think about this circumstance of life, and more importantly, at the lunar eclipse, how you feel about this circumstance of life. So the things that the eclipses are activating are things that have been going on in people's lives since 2018, since July or so of 2018. And so we had one 2 weeks ago, the solar eclipse, so this is the companion eclipse to that. So this is the full moon on Friday, about how do you feel? And so each one of the signs, I'm going to ask them how they feel. For Capricorns, they want to know, how do they feel about their partnerships? Because the moon is in Cancer, the sun is in Capricorn. So for Capricorns, it's about how do they feel about their partnerships, their intimate one-to-one relationships, and how the public perceives them in one way or another. And I think it's interesting that our quarterback is a Capricorn, the Buccaneers are a Capricorn, and we're deciding right now, how do we feel about that guy? Are we going to keep him? And I think we should. My 2 cents is on keep him. Because Jupiter's in their sign, and they will have the best year in 12. And nothing would make me madder than to have a quarterback who goes somewhere else and throws 30 touchdowns for another team.
Yeah, we were just talking about all the quarterbacks that have gone
Yeah.
on to win Super Bowls that used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. And you might want to hang on to it at least
Just
one
more year.
Yeah.
Just humor me.
Yeah.
1 more year. I mean, what's it going to cost you? $27 million bucks? And yes, that's a lot of money, but that's what, $1 million a touchdown, something like that.
There you go. If you think of it that way, I was just going to say it's 2017, July of 2017.
July of 2018.
So not last July, but
the one before that.
one before that.
The one before that.
Okay.
So basically for the Capricorns, you're saying, so it was whatever the relationships they were having in
Yes.
July of 2018
Yes,
that's sort of coming
taking
full
a look now to
circle.
see, and if you form new relationships, to say, are they meeting my wants and needs? Are they what I thought that they were going to be?
Okay.
Does it bring me what I say that I want? Because this is all about the Capricorn's gratification, both personally and in partnerships.
Okay.
So for Aquarians, it's a good time to sit back and just be quiet and not say a whole lot. This eclipse is behind their sign. They have things going on at work, and that they've been trying to make some changes at work over the last 2 years or so. And literally with this Friday, they will know whether or not they're going to be successful at that, or do they have to start looking for another job?
Okay.
It's that kind of a thing. And they're trying to weigh that out right now because they're not unhappy where they're at. They're just not thrilled with where they're at.
So don't be vocal about
Yeah.
how you feel about your work.
Right, because you don't what you're trying to do right now is gather enough information to decide whether do I stay or do I go. And this is not in relationships. This is strictly through work and responsibilities. And do I want to keep this
All
responsibility?
business.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with personal stuff at all. And if they do decide that they are on borrowed time where they're at, then the things they do this year will help them make that change at the end of 2020.
Okay.
For Pisces, this is great energy for Pisces, and I know you're happy about that because you've got them all over the place.
Yes, I do. A lot of
You know,
family.
yes. Well, and
friends.
this eclipse, this eclipse cycle for them is in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, anything entertaining, anything also very creative. It's a very creative time for Pisces.
Okay.
And the thing they have to know is that whatever it is that they create, it's going to take the group to help bring it about. It's not something they can do, although the idea might be theirs. They will apply it much more so in a team fashion. That it will take more than one person to help them do that. So it's sort of like a group goal. It's sort of like, you become the quarterback of the team. You know,
You
and
know,
yeah,
so
that's
if
good for
you're-
you, but it takes a whole team
Right.
to get the ball across the finish line.
If you're a Pisces and do you assemble the team, or is the team just gravitate towards you?
You want to assemble the team.
Okay.
You want to assemble, and these are people you've been working on putting on your team for the last 2 years. You've kind of been vetting them, and it's the objective is that by July you want to have your whole team in place to go forward with it.
Okay.
So, but it really gets down to what creative process can the Pisces go through, and what can the Pisces create that would work well within a team effort.
You got to be kind of a campaigner.
Yeah, you really do. You got to. Yeah, it's not going to just fall to you. You're going to have to make it happen.
Okay.
But there's nothing in here that would stop them from making that happen, which is a cool thing. For Aries, it is in our 10th house of career and public standing, and it's professional success. And the challenge with that is because the eclipse is in the 4th house of home, Aries are going to get the opportunity to do more work, and it's going to take them away from home a lot longer. And they have to really weigh out whether or not the job is going to be worth the sacrifice of what they lose out at home. And that's a hard choice. It really is when you know, because you want to be successful and you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth kind of thing. And this is something that Aries have been working on for probably almost 20 years. And so when that does come around, you just want to make sure that it doesn't take you too far away from your home and foundations. That's the big challenge with that, is finding a way to do that work home balance so you can still do a good job at work but not neglect the people at home.
So my youngest daughter is an Aries, and she just decided to go to school for welding.
I think that's a great career field for a woman, especially in Aries. They like fire.
Yeah.
It's a fire sign,
And,
you know.
and I wasn't expecting it when I heard that she was going to be going to school. Heard school. What school? She's welding. I was like, wow, I didn't see that one coming.
That is so badass, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
like
genuinely
it.
is.
Kudos to her.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
one of the few fields that a woman can be very successful in.
Yeah.
Because it requires a lot of precision work, and women are really good at that kind of thing.
Very true.
You know, it doesn't require lifting really heavy objects. You know, they're not bodily stuck out of it.
And I just got to know the schooling. I don't know exactly how long the schooling is, but she's got to be careful with that and make sure that she's not taking too much time away from her young baby.
Yeah, because she's got a little one at
Yeah.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to babysit? That's the big question.
She's doing a real good job. Right now, she's living with her grandmother. So.
There's a G involved.
Yeah, so
Can't
there
go wrong
is
with G's.
a support group there going on.
Well, that's why we don't die after, you go through menopause. Every other species, no, really. Every other species dies after it can no longer reproduce, except for humans, and I think maybe apes too, and maybe whales.
Wow.
Because they're needed to help raise the next generation.
Wow.
So yeah, keep us alive for a reason. Free
There you go.
babysitting. It's true. But the thing that the Aries does is going to be successful.
Okay.
And that's what they need to know, that it's
Good, I
a
like
good
hearing that.
it's a good career move. It's the best career move for Aries in 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really good move for them.
Interesting. You know, one of our friends, Josh, was posting he has some big news coming, and he's in Aries.
Oh, wow.
Some career excitement. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's
Yay.
definitely not bad stuff at all.
Yay.
The only bad thing is to make sure it doesn't impact your home life
Okay.
in a negative fashion. So you're going to need support there to make sure that happens.
Heads up, Josh.
Got to campaign that house too a little bit.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. For Tauruses, I think out of all of the signs, Taurus has the best time with this energy.
Finally.
I love you,
And,
Janet.
God
Come
knows-
here. Give me some sugar.
God
Taurus.
knows this has been really a challenge. Sagittarius, the Jupiter and Sag was not the easiest thing in the world
You're right.
for Tauruses. But with Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, this eclipse cycle in Capricorn, the pace of their day-to-day living picks up.
Okay.
But it's not just something that they can't manage.
Okay.
It's something that's within, it's like they lost one job last year, but they get another one that is not the same job, but it's better for them because it's in the same career kind of area.
Okay.
But it doesn't take away, they don't have to stop what they're doing to do that.
Okay.
It's the thing that comes with it that they go, oh, isn't that handy? I'm already doing that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And that's April, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah, Taurus.
That's for
April,
Taurus.
end of April.
Yeah, end of
to
April.
End of
Yeah, end of April, beginning of May.
Getting better at this.
So
Very good.
contracts, negotiations, all go very favorably. If you're, I don't know where you're at with your contract here, but they're going to have to pay you more to keep you.
Hey.
You know,
Funny
and
you
that,
mentioned that. It is a contract year for me later on. But
Yeah.
speaking of contracts, I have another one in my life. I've been looking at getting a new vehicle.
Ooh, I like it.
Is this a good time?
Yeah, it is
And
actually
the-
between.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, between now and probably March or so,
Okay.
or the end of February. It's a really good time to do that and to strike a pretty good deal with it.
Now, There's a couple I'm looking at. I don't have all the numbers, but one of them that I do have, I see that it was manufactured on 9/12.
Ooh, a Virgo.
Yes.
I like Virgo vehicles. I look for Virgo vehicles and I look for Taurus vehicles because I'm a Virgo.
See, and that's interesting. I'm a Taurus,
Right.
and I get
Yeah,
along so
same.
well
But
with
a
Virgos.
Virgo vehicle is not going to do you wrong.
Okay.
It's going to work exactly the way it's advertised to.
So it wasn't
And
a
also,
Mercury
nothing was retrograde that month.
God.
Because I'm working with the Lexus guy, and he sends me the picture of the Lexus, and then he sends me the picture of the door. So I can look and see when it's born, because anything done in a moment in time takes on the quality of that moment in time. And I want a car that was not born during a Mars retrograde, because that's where lemons come from. Mercury retrogrades, that's where lemons come
Where
from.
confusion happens, right?
Yeah.
Miscommunications.
Misunderstandings, things done wrong.
People jumping on your cars.
Yeah, all kind of
all
stuff.
sorts of craziness.
All sorts of crazy stuff goes on.
Do we need to set up a service where Janet goes and test drives
Test
vehicles
your
with
car,
people,
yeah.
finds out?
Just send me the
Right.
picture of the door. Just send me a little picture of the door is the thing to do. So yeah, it really is a good time. And also, I don't know whether you're going to get a loan or not, but you would have a very favorable rate from a bank if you did.
Ooh, I love
That would be a nice thing too.
Sweet.
So, and the money gods are smiling on Taurus too. Which is
Really?
Yeah.
So is this
Oh,
like
yeah.
another time that I should buy some lotto tickets or have a friend buy lotto tickets?
No,
or is it
no,
not
no.
That
That
much?
would be
It's
that
just
would be
different.
later on in June.
This is just more
This is
so
just
in
contract
regards to things
negotiations.
that I've worked on.
Yes, that you have
Okay.
been working on, and some you've been working on for a while.
Okay.
That's the whole idea of the eclipse thing. Some you've been working on for a while.
Okay, so things basically for me then, things that I've been working on since January 8th of 2018,
yes.
business-wise.
Business-wise,
So
professionally
would
come
it
to
be,
be.
okay, so it's not family, it's not relationships.
No,
it's
this is strictly
business.
professional contracts, negotiations, writing. This is not a personal kind of a thing. This is
Right.
more a professional and business thing. But whatever it is, it complicates your day-to-day living by adding another thing to your list,
Right.
but it doesn't put you behind the power curve the way other things have in the past when you've added them to your list. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
So it's manageable.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of nice. For Geminis, this energy, I think it's very challenging energy for Geminis. Because the Jupiter and Saturn, where the sun is in this eclipse cycle, is in their 8th house of other people's resources, but the moon is in their 2nd house of their own resources. So it's for Geminis everywhere, it's about the money. It's about the money that you earn, but it's also about the money, the joint resources you share with other people. And they want to try and find a way to maximize that rather than looking for new resources. It's to find a way to make more money with the resources you already have in place.
So it kind of depends. You're going to have to depend on other people to make money.
Yes, you're going to have to do it with other people. And you might want to do it with other people's money or other people's resources rather than just your own. It's not a matter of you getting a raise or a promotion. It's about maximizing an existing resource, capitalizing on an existing resource in order to make more money.
So that's
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think of a decent example. I have property in North Florida that I don't go to all the time, so I've started renting it out to campers when I'm not there. That kind of a thing. It's an existing resource. I haven't put any more money into it, and I'm hoping to pay the property taxes out of it.
Ryan's our Aries. So.
He's our Gemini.
Or Gemini.
Gemini, sorry.
Gemini, yeah.
Gemini. So he's gonna. It's one thing about this business. There's always creative ways to make money. You just gotta.
Yeah.
You just have to be and you have to be receptive to it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be able to take a look and go, okay, well, here's what I have, and here's how I can maximize that. Because we look for new resources all the time instead of capitalizing on things we already have going on. So, and the other thing is something gets revealed at this eclipse. I don't know what it is, but Geminis aren't happy about people finding out about it financially. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure how that is if they've been above board and straight up in their financial dealings, but something comes to light and they go, man, I wish people didn't know about that.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that is, and I'm glad I'm not the president. Because that's going to be happening to them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's a Gemini, and stuff will be revealed, and he's not happy about that.
Oh, isn't he like? Aren't people trying to go look at his tax?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
yeah.
they've been, for years.
Oh, and money all the way across the
Yeah.
board. There's all kind of conspiracies that, the whole thing about, rattling up this war, kind of thing, and all of a sudden defense stocks go up dramatically, and if you had bought, if you had defense stocks, you would have just made a boatload of money over the last weekend or so, that kind of thing,
So while we're talking about that, is it like as far as people's retirements and being that you got a president that's a Gemini, how does that affect our money as a whole, like with all the signs?
The United States, we look at the United States' money when we look at the chart of the United States, which is a Cancer.
Gotcha.
And so for Cancers, which is the next time we're going to talk about, this eclipse cycle is in their sign, and it's been there since July of 2018. And you know, if you look at the stock market, it's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the economy, it is roaring along. It's not too hard to get a job in 2020 in the United States. So whatever they're doing, it's not really working that badly, I don't think. But the United States is going to find out, and Cancer's everywhere, this eclipse cycle, the moon is in their first house of their physical self, and Jupiter and Saturn are in their seventh house of partners. And so you're going to find out who is with you and who is against you. Cancer's everywhere. I've been trying to divine that for the last 2 years or so, because Cancers really want to take care of everybody. They're the moms of the zodiac. Whether you're male or female, you're still the mom of the zodiac when you're a Cancer.
We're kind of the moms of the whole world.
Yeah,
pretty much.
and we are.
Yeah.
You know, and part of that finding out is like, who is it worth being a mom to, and who is
Right.
is it not?
Who do you want to put on restrictions?
Yeah, exactly. And so that will go, and we've been trying, yeah, exactly.
Banish out of the house.
And there are some people that do, like, there are some acquaintances that need to be forgot. You know, and that's what Cancers you're trying to discern right now, and that's what this eclipse will help show them, is who is really with them and who is not. And sometimes it's more important to know who is not with you than
Yeah.
to know who is with you, because it's nothing worse than thinking somebody's on your side and finding out, yeah, oh no, they're not. So.
Surprise.
Yes, and I think the United States will find that out with our allies over the next couple of weeks or so, and it'll be good to know one way or the other. You know, if we're going to give you money, you need to be there. You need to ride with us. You know, and if not, great, we're not going to give you any more money. It's that kind of a deal. And for Cancers everywhere, it's finding out who is with them and who is against them, who is their partners, and who isn't. And I think that's an important thing to know,
Yeah.
rather than being taken advantage of. For Leo, as you ask, it's this energy is in there. They have to be really careful with this energy. They have to be careful not to volunteer for stuff, because they'll end up getting the job to do it, and there's not a lot more money involved with it. It's like the kind of thing where there's more responsibility involved with it,
Right.
but it doesn't increase your paycheck.
Gotcha.
And that's the kind of thing where you go, you know, we should do this or this, and they'll go, great, do it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, crap, I didn't mean me.
Yeah. I've definitely realized that time is is worth the money. Your money, time
Yeah.
and money.
Time is
Yeah.
money.
And sometimes you think you're going to go for a money deal, and
Yeah.
it turns out to be a time
A
deal.
time
and you
deal.
lose money.
Exactly.
Because you
And,
lose
and that's the
time.
big thing, because there are several things that have been cooking in the Leo's life for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And this is the year that they want to bring them into the light and bring them into being. And again, part of that discerning, this eclipse is helping you see which one is actually going to make you money and which one is going to cost you money because of the amount of time that it's going to take. And that really hasn't been determined yet. You know
Right.
exactly which one. You're going to find that out in the next week or so, which ones will work and which ones won't.
Cool.
You know, and it's good to know that too, one way or the
Yeah.
other.
You don't have a lot of time to waste.
No, you want to be as efficient as you can be with it. You know, I'm all for putting an effort into something, but it's not worth putting a huge effort into something that's going to make you a nickel at the end of the day.
So Leos, listen up.
Yeah, they do. But I got to tell you, work goes really well for Leos.
All right.
It really is a good, favorable year for Leos to be very successful at work. So if you think you did good last year, but it was just fun, you know,
Yeah,
now.
it was fun having a good year and going.
Well, you were
into
having
this year.
fun
Yeah.
and you had a good year.
Mm-hmm.
It was not, oh, we're going to have a good year and then we'll have fun. It was the having fun that made it such a good year.
I feel like going into this year now, going into last year, it was a little bit kind of crazy, but kind of stumbled into the new year, and
Yeah.
it was looking kind of good, but it was kind of like tripping and stalling and kind of stumbling in. This year, I feel like you're marching it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
marching
we
into
rock-
the year now.
Yeah.
You
You
know
got
what I
your
mean?
team together, you know, you're
Yeah.
going forward with it. Now you know what you're doing. Last year was sort of like, yay, look at that, it worked out okay, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, of course it worked out okay, and now we want to build on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of money. I don't think that there's a big increase in salary,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it's a good working environment.
Got more
Well,
time.
hey,
for
maybe
that.
you know somebody that has a good contract year this year.
Hey,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
You're friends with a good contract.
So,
That's right.
what are you going to be buttering me up with there, buddy?
Hey, you know what?
Exactly.
Give me some time. Give me some time.
Exactly. I like it. For Virgos, and I'm so excited to say this because this eclipse cycle for Virgo is in the 5th house of love affairs and 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And Virgos are the pickiest people on the whole planet as far as relationships go. But this is a year that single Virgos attract someone, married Virgos, their marriage goes very well. If you're an attached Virgo, you together get to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective. And the only caveat to that is you have to be careful not to take responsibility for a child not necessarily your own.
Oh.
So it's the kind of thing that it's a very fertile time of year.
So, do you mean like physically, like actual
Yeah.
babies, or okay,
Both,
all right, I was
both.
okay, and the
Both.
theoretical.
The child of your mind as
Right.
well as physical babies. And as I was looking at this, preparing for the show, I'm thinking, responsibility for a child necessarily my own. My cats are neutered. You know, I've got a single bird. And then I thought, oh yeah, my grandson. Yeah, he starts regular school. And guess who has to pick him up at 1 o'clock? Me. So
Yeah.
responsibility for a child, not necessarily my own. Although in this case, at least he's cute.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You know, so I'm happy about that. But new loves in Virgo's life and new creative outlets in Virgo's life, and they should welcome it. You know, because they've kind of stagnated a little bit, been doing the same thing for a while, the same way, and,
Yeah.
and they need to expand that creative process a little bit.
Creativity for a Virgo. Is there any particular category you would think of when you think of a Virgo and being creative? Is
I
there
mean, what can a Virgo create?
Yeah, is there a
Finding a crown with a pasta strainer.
Oh, Jeez. God,
That
this
was
is
creative.
This is a Virgo, right?
That
Yeah.
was pretty creative, I have to say.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah.
Good Lord. True, but love. I think he finds love this year.
Oh.
So,
Yay.
be nice.
God, I love him. I
A,
hope so.
a kinder, a gentler guy
Yeah.
would be
Good.
the
He's
result
the
of
best.
that. For Libras, I think this is a tough year for Libra, and Bruce Arians would be the first one to go, yeah, hell yeah, it is, because he's a Libra. They have Jupiter and Saturn in their fourth house of home, so they really want to put down roots. They really want to solidify that structure so it will sustain them throughout the year. And they have professional decisions they have to make, and they're not sure what to do with it yet. They've been weighing this professional decision out since July or so, and they thought they had the answer the day after Christmas, and now they're still not sure. There's more information that's going to be necessary before I guess he can pick his quarterback, is what it looks like to me. So for Libras everywhere, the professional considerations that they're doing, they have to realize that the most important thing is to shore up their basic foundations. Before they can go out and really put themselves out into the world, they have to make sure they have a solid base of operations to operate out of. And that's what this eclipse is designed to do, is to help them solidify that home structure.
Okay.
It's a good time to purchase real estate, even if you're not planning on living there right away. So I would say keep our existing quarterback and then draft a young one you can train. Would be the right thing to do with that if I was advising the Bucks, which of course I'm not because they never listen to me. Never. But for Libras, it's a matter of finding a way to solidify that home structure so it supports them so they can go out and do battle with the world. For Scorpios, this eclipse, again, this is a good energy for Scorpio. It's in their third house of day-to-day living, in the ninth house of law. The law's on their side, legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance, any kind of contracts. And Scorpios need to realize that they can affect a really good deal. If they give a little in the beginning, they'll get a lot more in the negotiation in the return, rather than being very rigid. Because Scorpio is that fixed sign. There's no confusing with the facts once it's made up its mind. And there's more information that comes to light this week that modifies that Scorpio decision a little bit. And
They
if-
should look for information this
Yeah,
week.
they should openly seek out information, legal education, any kind of advisor, any kind of someone who knows more about what it is you're doing than you are.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking questions and saying, I don't know, because I don't think there's enough information yet. There will be by the end of the week for them to make the decision that's right for them.
Okay.
And whatever decision is, it makes it easier for them in their day-to-day living. So I'm not quite sure how exactly that manifests, but they need the advice of a professional. And then once you pay a professional for his advice, for God's sake, take it. You know, and then for Sagittarians, the last time we're going to talk about, it's about the money, and make no mistake about it. And that's what you were talking about. Your rising sign is Sagittarius. And yeah, you got a lot of work things going, but which ones are going to give me the most amount of money for the shortest amount of time with the least amount of grief and aggravation? You know, and that's what Sagittarians are trying to do. They reinvented themselves last year, and this year it's about them making more money, and it's about them hooking up with people that will also help them make more money. So there's an individual effort on the Sagittarians part, but there's also a team effort or another person effort where they're going to be with a couple of other people, and joining those forces will end up making the Sagittarian a boatload of money.
Yeah. If I can get more time,
Yeah.
and you know, the money's not. If I can gain time, that's money for me.
Oh,
to be honest with
totally.
you.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's also a matter of recognizing and letting the people that you're in business with or in partnership with or in cahoots with, making sure they hold up their end of the deal.
Yeah.
Making sure they deliver on their part, that you're not carrying them.
Gotcha.
That kind of a deal. So, and I like eclipses because they bring matters to a conclusion, one way or the other, for good or for ill. You know, and if it's time for a structure to end, then let it end. But one way or the other, you want to know. So, because you can't really control what occurs. You can only control how you choose to think about it. You know, and that's something you have 100% of control over, is whether you choose to make something important or whether you don't.
Your reaction.
Yeah, that and what you
whatever.
think about, and that's the one thing you can control. And even when something bad happens to you, you know, you can. I know, I had something really horrible happen to me. You know, my husband got killed, and I thought, well, that's awful, but at least I don't have to leave Tampa. You know, it was not I didn't want to leave. I mean, I would have left.
Right.
I would have left, but I really didn't want to. And God said, okay, well, you could stay, but that's the price. It's like, ooh, that's a steep price. But I couldn't change what happened. I could only change how I thought about it. So
There you go.
I thought, at least I'm here. Could have been worse. I could have been in New York when that happened.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you control what you think. And this eclipse is designed to help you find what it is you want and what you need, and to be clear in what it is you want to make happen. Because I think also the universe, in order for something to manifest, you need to have a thought form. You need to have a clear idea of what you want to make happen. Otherwise, the universe is going to go, what about this? What about that? How about this? How about that? You know, because once you become
This
clear.
is what I want. This is
Yeah,
what I
once you
want
have a
to happen.
clear, this is what I want. And that's the thing behind vision boards and, you know, stuff like that, is having a clear mental picture. The worst thing people say to me is, I just want peace. I just want serenity. I don't want to have any kind of upsets. And I'm thinking, man, you're going to ask me to be in a coma.
Too broad.
You know,
Yeah.
no, I want passion. You know, I want to believe in something, or I want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
I know for me, last year, I wanted to be a part of a team. You know, I did. I wanted to feel like I was a valued part of a team, and yeah, I is.
Yay!
Boom.
You know, so I'm really happy about that.
Aw, happy to have you here, Janet.
Happy to be here. So I'm looking forward to a good 2020.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Let's do this thing. Let's have some fun.
Yes.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
All right.
Winning is fun, though.
There you go. That's the first Star Goddess podcast of 2020 in the books. We'll see you guys next week right here on the Crash Day blog at 98 Rock.
98 Rock.